Good morning. How are you? You look well, considering. Nice to see you. Um, I think I know what you're thinking. And that is, Mark, is there a interesting story, something that might titillate us about someone who's tried to kick it to you, maybe hit on you? Any kind of interesting story in that fashion? And I'm glad you asked that because, yes, there was a fascinating story. 1999. You're going to hear me repeat that year a lot if you watch these Robe chats because it was a very good year for me and for Sugar Ray. That was the year 1459 came out. Triple platinum, 1459. Of course, had the #1 song every morning on it. Our follow-up to Fly. It kept us off that one-hit wonder island, if you will, which is a great place to go, great place to visit. You just don't want to stay there. So anyway, it's 1999. 1459 comes out, and we're excited. The record's starting to pick up some pace, and the big machine that they call Atlantic Records is fully engaged and running, pistons pumping to promote this record, 1459, from these up-and-comers, these upsetters from Newport Beach, California, trying to make it internationally. So there's a show in London, England called Top of the Pops. We fly over to London to sort of do our begin our international promotional tour of 1459. So we start in London, we do a show called Top of the Pops, the world famous, internationally known show Top of the Pops, which is very much like American Bandstand here. It's a legendary show. A lot of you, I'm sure, have heard of it. And it's a really sign that you've arrived or you're starting to arrive if you play Top of the Pops. And so we're so excited because all the bands I grew up in played the Top of the Pops, whether it's Echo and the Bunnymen, the Clash, Oasis, just everybody played Top of the Pops. It's a real marker of success there. So that day it was us, I believe a band called Ash from Ireland, a three-piece, kind of like Green Day-esque band, if you will, without of course, the amazing catalog of Green Day, but a great band, Ash. And Jennifer Lopez was there that day. Well, that's cool. Jennifer Lopez is playing, and this is her first entree, if you will, into the music world. She kind of was doing her thing in TV, and then she switched to movies, and she's like, well, I can do it all. Let's do some music. And so I think her first single was If You Had My Love, and I believe she was doing that song that day in Top of the Pops. We were doing Every Morning, of course. And so we're in our dressing room, and, the BBC is very bureaucratic, and it's kind of government run, very much so. So it's got the feel of walking into a DMV or something. There's not this exciting sort of, hey, rock and roll element to it. It's very like bureaucratic when you walk in there and show your ID, security, like sort of like nondescript labyrinth of hallways and rooms. And so we're kind of in this dressing room, if you will, but it looked more like an office, like a post-war England, room with like a cattle fatigue and, just very minimal. So we're sitting there, we're excited about playing on Top of the Pops. We do our run-through rehearsal and all that. And we go back to our room, and I get a knock on the door, and there's this big security guy standing there. I'm like, oh, God, what do we do? We're already getting kicked off Top of the Pops. What happened? Really nice gentleman goes, listen, I do security for Jennifer Lopez, and Jennifer would love to meet Mark if it's possible. And so the band's looking at me, and I'm looking at the band. I'm going, well, of course she does. I'm Mark McGrath. I got highlights. Are you kidding me? Of course she wants to meet Mark McGrath. I mean, and already I'm envisioning me and J-Lo on the cover of People magazine and, with the new Hollywood power couple. And it's going to be this amazing, incredible, just Shakespearean love story started in London at Top of the Pops. I'm already writing the backstory for the book that's going to be, for sure. So, the guys are kind of ribbing me and going, oh, okay, Mark, go. And I'm walking out the room with this big security guy, and I'm panicked because now I'm going to meet Jennifer Lopez, right? So I'm like, oh my God, this is so exciting. Huge fan, blah, blah, blah. I'm in my mind trying to be cool. But at the same time, I'm trying to be totally cool, which is impossible for me. So we get over to the room, and I open the door to the room, and it's all like white linen and kind of Stevie Nicks-y with candles and patchouli and, Nag Champa senses, and it's just sort of surreal. Some reason her room was like this beautiful visage of clouds, rainbows, and it felt like it felt like it felt like a room that Stevie Nicks should have. Okay, so I go in a room, it's perfect, the lighting's perfect, and I'm trying to be all cool. And she goes, "Hi, Mark," very sweet, very kind of, "Hey, J Lo, you know, let's just get to the point where we're 3 months down the line and we're going out. And how you doing? Great. A little bit of small talk. Where you staying? Staying over here. Great. Congratulations on your song. Blah blah blah. You know, I'm just waiting for it all to be just like, all right, Mark, where are we going tonight? Let's go hang." And she goes, "Well, I'm really glad you came over. It's very, very nice of you. My assistant's in the other room, and she's the biggest fan. Do you mind going over and taking a picture with her?" And I just went, "Wah, wah." And I went, "No, of course I do. Sure. I mean, that's why I came over, right? Of course. Nice to see you, J Lo. Let me go say hello to your assistant." So that was it. Went over. Assistant was very nice. J Lo was wonderful. And that was the longest walk back to that labyrinth of hallways back to our dressing room. And I opened the door and I saw my band and the crew guys, and they just looked at me, and I just did the same thing. I went, "Wah, wah." And that was the romance of Mark McGrath and Jennifer Lopez that never was. Have a great day. And back to your regularly scheduled programming. I'm shedding a tear a little bit. Take care.